The Bears' offensive game plan worked against the Commanders because you went to DJ Moore early and often. So why on God's green earth did you decide to wait multiple drives before you wanted to get him involved in the offense? You had 10 days and that's what you came up with? Did you just walk around circles talking to yourself about iocane powder or something? And that's how you came up with the game plan? Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
I'd bet my life on it.
Additionally, the reason why that 3rd and 7 against the Commanders worked was because it was up the middle and you already had defenders committed to the outsides because you already established your passing game. Secondly, I didn't like that call then. I sure as hell didn't like it there. Shotgun on 3rd and 2. Are you kidding? Additionally, the RPO situation is infuriating, and that's what I was thinking about when I was trying to talk about the 3rd down.
You mean like when they had Tyson Bagent do it, and you're like, what are you doing?
They're only using a portion of the field to RPO, which is my main problem with it. The concept behind RPO is at that point you've already established using many parts of your field. Additionally, motion. Didn't we talk about the use of using motion all the way across the field? And that's also partially what worked when you only had 4 days to game plan. You were able to use motion that made sense. RPO is designed to be deceptive. It's not this half, I'm going to put the ball over here and have 4 yards of the field to work with because horizontally we don't spread enough. What are we doing here? Rollouts have defined blocking assignments. If you don't have confidence in your offensive line, why do you not have downfield blocking with players who are mobile? And if you have a fullback on your roster, why don't you use him properly? This goes back all the way to the Packers game where you have 3rd and short, a goal line situation, and you fail to use your fullback then. The chip on the outside and then having him run in the pass pattern where he's your first read on that play is a trash play. That's poor design.
I'm not getting in the way of this train. I'm not getting in the way of this train. This train is on track, and I want to keep going on the track.
Okay, I'll start this again. 3rd and 7 is a passing down. 3rd and 7 is only a running down when you've already decided to pass the ball, which you didn't want to do. To your offensive player of the week, the first receiver that you had in 20 years get that award, and you don't know how to use them on the first damn drive?
Or you're in 4-down territory and you just want to get a chunk of it knowing you're going to go for it on 4th
You're
down.
not the smartest person in the room.
I'm not.
You're not even close. Like, understand the talent you have. Utilize them. If you have to have mobile blockers, then use them downfield. Why have there been no rollouts? That's what I don't understand. Why have there only been this tiny short motion with a portion of the field? The RPO is the real one that bothers me.
Get off the track, studs. Train is coming.
Dude.
But
That's my fault.
The RPO is the real one that bothers me because why are you trying to fake like you're using multiple parts of the field when you can't bother to use anything other than like a 12 square foot radius? What is that? Especially when you're showing to the right. You think they don't know that you're running right side? Nothing you did fooled anyone. You fooled your damn selves. You had 10 days to prepare, and that's what you came up with? I'm giving you 5 minutes next time. Because you somehow come up with a better game plan in 5 minutes than you did in 4 days, than you did with 10 in the whole season for the Packers.
Call it the lightning round.
What's your game plan? You got 5 minutes, go.
Top Chef style, man. I'm taking everything away. Palm Pilot, slide rule, tablet.
What is amazing is that with that extra time, they went away from stuff that was successful. You and Olin are simpatico when it comes to the moving pocket. That was something that he was really disappointed in.
It's not even just the moving pocket. It's the downfield blocking assignments because you can't block them at the line. Empty against the most blitz-happy defense in the NFL, you want to go empty. Look how long it took for your defense to finally start calling blitzes, and oh, how they worked. You think that wasn't going to be the plan on the other side? How long have I sat here and talked to you about the unchecked edge blocker every single time, the unchecked edge rusher?
And it was the first play of the game.
This goes back to that Houston game last year. You think they're not doing that every single time? Everybody knows your RPO.
Well, Brian Flores came into this game blitzing about, 60% of the time. And he got to Justin Fields. Like, it was 53% of the snaps that Justin Fields took in the game. And I know that there is – I love what Olin said about this, where he said, had he been Ryan Poles, they would have been in his office Monday morning. Getsy and Fields. He would have had that play up on the board, and he said, explain this to me. Explain how you go empty on the first play. You go 5 wide, you go empty on the first play, and that free runner is not accounted for either by design or by the quarterback, and you have to figure out who didn't do their job in that moment. It was a very arrogant approach to this game.
You know who else used to go empty all the time because he was convinced it was going to work?
Matt Nagy.
Don Coryell?
Yes. Matt Nagy.
Mike Martz.
Yeah, he would do, but he would at least bring in the extra. He would go empty, but it'd be 7 on the line.
Well, because he would have a tight end who's actually a tackle.
Right.
You don't have the talent for this. That is not an insult to who's out there playing for you every day. That is respect to what their strengths are that you are not utilizing.
You would think that with a
Utilize
game
people's strengths.
that was so important for their season to continue. Like if you have to look at it as 1 game seasons and you go, man, if we could get this win, it could change everything. It is pretty bad that was the approach that they came out with. It lets you know a lot. Lets you know a whole lot.
You know what I always say when I can't explain a situation and we have most of the information? I always think to myself, what's the thing I'm missing? Male ego. I sure as hell hope I'm not correct here. It is tragic to me when you see the offensive line blocking assignments too, and we haven't even really gotten to those details, and the snapping, which we've discussed ad nauseum. First of all, why is your offensive line coach not being called to the carpet every day? Anyone? Like, we said Juan Castillo's name more than we do now. Like, I don't understand. In the world of hits and lows, when you say you hold people accountable, and we just saw how long it took for Chase Claypool to leave this team, how are you rolling that out there when somebody's holding you accountable every single play on the other side? I said it. I said it from the very beginning.
Well, and then when they pull Cody Whitehair, they won't even apply the accountability. You don't say, we had to get that guy off the field.
No, they applied the personal catcher explanation.
Right. He wasn't doing his job, so they have to use like a Steve Carlton, Tim McCarver arrangement for Bagent, which Bagent immediately shot down.
To which I said, I want Matt Eberflus to explain to my checking account what my credit card statement did after holidays and various seasonal sales. Amazon Prime.
How do you end up with Deontay Foreman 1-on-1 with Daniil Hunter?
How do you end up with
Cody
Whitehair?
Terrible.
How do you end up with Kari Blasingame doing a chip block to then roll out and do a pass pattern that you saw from a mile away because that's the only side of the field you utilize ever?
How is Kari Blasingame running a route from empty on the first play of the damn game?
How is Kari? Why aren't you just having him block? He's a fullback.
He's an isolation blocker.
And speaking of blocking,
take on a linebacker in the hole.
Speaking of blocking, one thing real quick, something I just thought about. Mercedes Lewis should have been on the field almost every play in this game.
Yep.
Isn't that why you brought him here?
He had 16 snaps.
Isn't that why you brought him here? Wasn't that the whole point of bringing him here?
You have specialists, and you refuse to use the specialists in a way that utilizes their strengths. And frankly, I'm to the point where I've also seen regression out of people that you said invested in your system and you rewarded as such, Cole Kmet. But Cole Kmet is a product, his receiving yards are a product of a functioning offense, which you failed to ever establish. There's no base formations. There's no cohesive system. You know how you know that there's a concern with the base formations? Because of the blocking assignments that we've seen out of your own offensive line when two Bears are blocking each other. That's how you know there's an issue.
What happened? How does Cody Whitehair, first with all the problems with the snaps, how does he end up zone blocking Jatiri Carter?
It's a good question.
He's blocking his own teammate.
It's a really
I'm
good
telling
question.
you, that still frame got Will Muschamp fired.
Well, let me ask a couple. First of all, is it possible he suffered an undiagnosed concussion?
That's the first thing I thought. The first thing I thought was that's why he ended up not out of the game.
Or after 10 years in the league, is it worse than that?
I don't know if I want to go that far.
I'm just asking like that.
All I know is Cody Hare's trying. Like, he's trying. Something was out of character there.
It was.
Like, we know him and his body of work well enough. But, man, all of that was just absolutely patently unacceptable. And if you have 10 days and that's what you come up with, at some point, we've got to start holding people to some real accountability here. And furthermore, you finally start to blitz and look at your defense becoming successful because you decided you learned how to make a team not so one-dimensional.